All right, so this is a new segment for us. We're gonna do something called Off Topic. We're gonna release these on Friday. This is just us talking about something that's not really sneaker related, but it was on our mind, and we just had to put it into the airwaves for our adoring fans. You're welcome. So what are we talking about today, Bjorn?
We're going to talk about like being a good audience member at comedy shows.
Yeah, because we've started running a weekly comedy show every Thursday night at 10 p.m. at the Funhouse Lounge called Guest Spot.
I love how the promotion of it is almost going to just become a bit in itself.
Oh, I
love it.
I definitely want it to be a bit.
All our tenors are just going to be.
Dude, I'm embarrassed to promote anything, so like I have to do it as a bit just because I'm a douche.
This is me putting the spoonful of sugar because y'all motherfuckers hate promoting yourself.
I don't understand what is wrong with me. It's just like
I feel like
I hate being successful or something.
No, I feel like if you love
fear
promoting,
of success. It's
if
fear
you
of success.
love promoting yourself, you're like the worst kind of person.
Yeah.
If you just want
100%.
to go on the internet and be like, guys, I'm the best.
It's like I want to start doing comedy because
See
I want to be
shit
famous.
that I do? Come see all of it when I'm bad.
Here's the difference, though, and I feel like I'm speaking from the audience perspective here.
Yeah.
We want to know when this shit is happening. There's people that like listening to the two of you do comedy.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I'm glad they do. But like, here's the thing: is like
I've had several times people be like, "Why didn't you tell?" Like, I'll post a picture from a show, and they're like, I live 2 blocks from there. Why didn't you promote it? And I'm just like, yep, that's my bad. Or it was a guest spot or whatever.
Yeah.
But
No, I've got a lot. Like all my non-comedy friends, like since I started comedy, like, oh, we want to come see you. We want to come to an open mic. I'm like, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
And it's like, then can we come to a show? I'm like, yeah, when I'm ready for you to see me, I'll let you know. It's like I want to make sure that
do
like
you get more nervous when there's people in the audience you know?
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like I
10
kind
times
of do.
more nervous.
And that I think we just nailed it on a head.
Yeah.
On a head.
Okay, you secretly don't want people you know coming to your shows.
No, I don't.
Just,
not secretly, explicitly.
I want
would rather people I know not come until I want them there.
I want people to come, and I think. Yeah.
I'm going to clip that and make it a drop, by the way.
No. I'd like a bunch of people who think they know me, but I don't know them at all. Like podcast fans. That's
parasocial relationships we've been
exactly.
talking about.
Yeah, because I am a massive fan of a lot of comics that have podcasts. So like when I go to see Bill Burr, I feel like I know Bill Burr.
This is you're touching on something,
and so it's like when he's doing his comedy, if he's got a reference to like something in his life, I'm like, I remember him talking about that.
Does your girlfriend listen to our podcast?
I don't think so. I told her she could.
Yeah.
She asked if it would make me uncomfortable.
Do you think she would have listened to it more if you said she couldn't?
I don't know, dude.
Like a secret,
like don't listen to it.
I mean,
and then she'd be like, why?
It's totally up to her. I'd almost rather she didn't, so that she doesn't get tired of me any faster than she's going to anyway. You know.
I guess.
Like I feel like it,
or it ain't real love. No, I'm kidding.
No,
it's hard to know.
Actually, that's an interesting one because. Do y'all think it's normal to listen to like your partner's creative outputs like that?
I don't know what normal would be
I don't know
in this
how you
scenario,
define normal.
Like,
it's very weird. It's like, yeah, we put that out there, so it's out there. It's sort of like how I put it out there, and then even like when I was like single and dating, and then these guys started listening and like would send me messages about shit we talked about on the podcast, like. On Grindr, I would get messages about shit we talked about. Almost is like a bad audience member.
Is that a deal breaker for you? Like if they're like, bro, on episode 67, you said this really funny thing, and now I want to fuck.
It was weird. It was weird. I have a wild.
I feel like I would appreciate that just from. As they're like putting in some work.
It's weird because
like they put an hour of podcast listening into trying to fuck you. Dude.
I had a wild experience once with a snow skate mega fan.
Wait, is this? We've talked about this.
Have we talked about the story of
the
like
one where
in
he
Minneapolis?
came up to you when y'all were on like the early date and started fanning out?
No. This is a different one where
I
was hanging out with my friend Phil. Shout out to him. He lives in Wisconsin. And he was visiting in Minneapolis, and we just went on this wild ass night where this girl was a mega snow skate fan, like, and was trying to sleep with. She was trying to get I think a threesome going. I'm not sure. Maybe I was just there blocking. She really just wanted. Phil is more attractive than I am, but like we took her cat to.
And that's not a pussy metaphor. That's
Nope.
a literal cat.
I'm talking about a Maine Coon,
Oh,
a big
okay.
old kitty,
Big fluffy
We
cat.
took that to the Mall of America, and we took pictures. The four of us with Santa, so her cat, me, Phil, and this girl that I just met somewhere.
You just put on Santa Claus costumes and
No.
took a family
There's
photo?
like
with Santa.
We went to
with Santa.
There's like a Santa's workshop. And
Oh, okay.
She worked there, so she got this like special thing where we could bring her cat in with these two guys that she wanted to have
Membership
sex
has its
with.
benefits.
Yeah.
She's like, yo, I'm trying to fuck these guys.
She's
Can I
one
bring
of
the cat in.
Like it was her day off as one of the elves, and she came
my
in
God.
and
Yeah.
brought these two dudes.
and Santa was like, "Oh, ho ho ho! You've been a good elf this year. What do you want for Christmas?"
This is the most intriguing person I've ever heard about in my life.
Santa's elf.
Wait. It gets more
Okay,
interesting.
keep going.
Because after, but what were your questions?
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna highlight. Okay, so first and foremost, I was like a little surprised when you were like super fan of snow skating, woman. I was like, wait a like. And then you're like, and she worked as an elf at the Mall of America, has a Maine Coon, and then we all went for family photos after meeting at the bar.
She hit him up on online or like got his email and was like, oh, you're gonna, and I think he just wanted to get laid, honestly. And then he brought me just to I don't know, just to make it wild. But it was wild because she was like quoting us, and she knew all this stuff about this.
Oh,
and this
Like
is,
he was
but this
quoting
was
your
in-
like YouTube videos or
yeah,
something?
like stuff from our videos,
Holy
from like
shit.
our skate videos and stuff. Like
Yeah.
she thought she knew us, and the way she talked
You're
was
lucky
as
you're
if,
not in a basement
I
right now,
know.
dude.
Bro.
So
Yeah,
we did. So that's how we got the night started, and then she was like, she wanted to make us lasagna with Velveeta cheese. So she made us lasagna with Velveeta. Not bad, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I feel like there might be a way that doesn't
Terry's
suck.
so looking.
I was about to hit the boo this man drop, and then you said it wasn't bad. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever.
That's
It
where
was-
the Buddhist man dropped
It
goes,
was
actually,
its
but-
own thing, but very
Yeah,
Minnesotan.
no, it seems like it could have its place if you have like Velveeta, ground beef, and potatoes for some reason
and yeah, it was
layered
just,
on noodles. I
Okay,
could see
so-
that
hold
being
on.
kind of like a weird stroganoff type of situation,
We gotta play this string
like a
out.
casserole of stroganoff.
So then you
Yeah.
had weird middle America like casserole.
Yep,
Just a hearty Midwestern meal.
just the three of us.
Okay.
And then we
The cat didn't take part in the lasagna.
nah,
This cat wasn't Garfield.
No,
cat
the
does-
cat was
Okay.
very upset the whole time. Like when we had it, it was just like making. It was just like
Yeah,
the whole time.
Cats don't like to go to fucking Santa's
They don't
workshop.
want to go
dude.
to Santa's
They're
workshop
not-
at
that's
all.
not what cats
It was like
like.
scratching, and I'm
I
pretty
would
sure the
too.
photos. I was just like, what is going on with my life?
When you're
right
allergic
now?
to cats too, so you
I'm very
probably had like
allergic.
watery eyes.
Yeah, I was just crying.
Yeah.
You're just like, I just love the holidays.
So I just love
Oh
it
my
so
God! I
much.
just am thinking about how Jesus was
Oh.
born.
So then,
Okay.
so she made us Velveeta
Velveeta lasagna.
lasagna,
Yeah.
and then
Michelin
we
star
played
right
Mario Kart on 64.
Nice. These things
Uh,
are looking up.
We played Strip Mario Kart on 64.
Until the strip Mario Kart, this tracks with like 14-year-olds perfectly.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I did when I was like a teenage kid, except no one got laid at the end of it.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
so-
we were drinking the whole time.
I mean,
the
you'd
entire
have to be
time.
to enjoy Velveeta
So,
lasagna.
but the thing was, is her TV was only in her bedroom, so we all three were on her bed
Oh,
in
she
her
was
bed.
trying to
Dude.
fuck.
Did anybody fuck at some
Hold
point
on,
in
hold on.
this?
Keep going.
Keep going.
Maybe.
Keep going.
And then
I'm getting the sad horn drop ready to go because this is either going to be feast
So-
or famine ending.
so
yeah,
I'm
get Trillville ready too, though.
I'm
Yo.
So we're playing Mario Kart. I'm very good at Mario Kart on 64. Like in college, my roommates and I, what we would do, because this was after college, so this would be like 2011 or 2012. That's funny. That's when I knew you know me at this point.
It tracks.
And so 64 was kind of old at that point. It was like a few systems old. And so like even when I was in college, it was an old system.
Yeah.
And we would play for things to do like in the house, like okay, whoever loses has to take the garbage out and do the dishes.
Okay,
and then,
so you all got good at Mario
we
Kart.
all started practicing and getting stupid good at the
lived
game.
In houses like this for sure.
Yeah,
dudes
where
posting their W's.
Actually, at one point we went online, like we had our our records, and like I had a world record at one point on on a Nintendo 64 in like 2008 or something
Hell
like
yeah,
that.
dude.
We were like, whoa.
All right, so you're taking your
Claim
clothes
to
off.
fame.
You're
So
whooping the shit out of everybody.
I am fully clothed, but everybody else has their clothes off because they can't beat me because I'm way too good at this game. But I'm like drunk and
So
I was
your
still,
Mario
like,
Kart skills made you accidentally a great wingman?
I guess. Because they got naked and I was fully clothed. I'm still crushing it.
Yeah.
But it's that like weird part of my life where like I compartmentalized sex, so it wasn't like I was like, no, I'm gonna beat these fools. Like I was all
I
in
know exactly
on,
what you're talking.
You know what I mean?
You won your way out of a good situation.
Yeah.
I've been there before. Like I'll say this very quickly. I remember when I was in high school, I was a very undersexed high school kid. And, like, we slept at our high school campus during homecoming because we were protecting it from our crosstown rivals.
Okay.
And, like, late at night, we were intense. This girl that went to my high school was like, yo, let me get in your sleeping bag. And I was like, no, I'm tired. I'm trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I was just like, fuck!
Yeah, you're like, oh, no. Like,
Yeah.
I was just so clueless. And, like, I wasn't trying to. And I was, like, nervous about it. So I was focusing on the game.
You were laser focused.
I was very focused on the game and winning, and they were just having a good time. Then they were like, it was starting to get hot and heavy with them, and I was like, "Come on, guys, let's keep playing."
Like, get his dick out of the mouth.
Yeah, like come on.
We've got Rainbow Road to finish.
He's like trying. He's trying to seal the deal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep playing video games, and then
He's getting Rainbow Road.
yeah,
head.
so
he's looking for Chocolate Highway. Like
yeah, Choco Road. No. So my friends, I think, is trying to get a threesome going with us, and it's just like, Bjorn, why are you just being like this? Why aren't you on board? I don't know what his intentions were, but then at one point, I think he was trying to get me out of the room. So then I was then sitting on the end of the bed, playing like this close to the screen by myself, while like they're like really starting to make things happen.
this is like a Harmony Korine movie that you're describing right now.
So
This is
then
a deleted scene from Kids.
the way her room is like there was the door and then there was a hallway, but hers was like the first door when you walked into the apartment.
Okay.
This is important because her roommate came home and the door was open, and I think I felt weird that everybody else was naked, and so like I took my shirt off just for good faith.
So you were just sitting there playing Mario Kart
in my
Bert
underwear.
Kreischer style.
Yeah, no,
right.
I was in my underwear.
Bert
at that
Kreischer
point.
style
Yeah,
still.
so Bert
Yeah.
Kreischer style.
You're just in a Speedo playing Mario Kart.
Yeah. in a
People are
Speedo.
fucking behind you, possibly, but you're
Like,
in the middle of it's a dead heat.
They're still.
You're about to kick Princess Peach's ass.
Yep.
And so you have no time for what.
So they're like foreplaying in the back, and I'm still playing video games.
Yeah.
And her roommate comes home, who also happens to be her brother, and he gets so upset. So then he starts like losing it because there's two dudes in her bed, and he's like, "We are not going through this again."
She's about to fucking power drift into the Mushroom Kingdom and like
we are not going through this again.
Again.
Yeah.
Because he was just like, he's like, you can't have threesomes like in the house. Like he's just freaking. It's like the older or younger brother. I don't even know.
Yeah,
He's just yelling at her. She's crying.
Well, I feel
me
like
and my friend are sitting just like I don't know what to do.
I feel like of everyone in this story, he's the one I can relate to the most by a very wide margin. I don't care if my sister has threesomes, twosomes, threesomes, tensums. I don't. Whatever she wants
This
to
is a
do.
very sex-positive podcast,
It is.
baby.
Whatever
Thank
she
you.
wants to do, but I don't want to know about it.
Bingo.
You know?
I don't want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. She
We're gonna
can
keep
have
that under the folds.
whatever she wants to do is fine with me, but I don't want to know about it. So if her and I live together for some reason, I'm on this guy's team.
Yeah,
You know,
I'd be a little bit.
If
upset.
I'm gone for the weekend, knock yourself out,
Right.
but no evidence.
You're not trying to come home and hear like.
I don't want to. Yeah, there you.
Hold on, it gets better because then it's like.
Power ups.
He's just like, damn it, the Mario Kart orgy's happening again.
So I ended up. Let's see. How does this say?
Mamma mia.
I think really what ended up happening is like they calmed down. He
Yeah.
stormed. He left. The brother left.
The brother left.
Yeah,
He was-
and then I felt bad, for being a part of this threesome.
Yeah.
So I passed
Yeah,
out on
you
the
definitely
couch,
should have felt bad about
and my friend
Wait,
sealed
you
the deal.
the
Stayed
extent
there?
to which you participated.
I couldn't drive. We were all
Good
wasted.
point. Good
Yeah.
point. Good
This
point.
is
You know what?
pre-Uber.
I'm gonna give you one of these.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, that
Way to
is.
be responsible.
What's so funny to me is I have like 3 or 4 stories where I didn't have a threesome to lose my virginity. Like,
You know what? Good. That
I just-
sounds fucking
It
awesome.
felt
I mean,
like-
awful.
it felt like losing your virginity in a threesome just feels like, I don't know, that feels like going down a double diamond on your first day on a snowboard.
I mean,
you know?
yeah, but also, I mean,
Like,
it's a
Nope.
good story, isn't it?
No, because I can almost
How's it not
guarantee you-
How's it not a hilarious story?
Because people that lose their virginity, most of the time it's like not a fun story. It's just
No.
like, yeah, I don't know, like we were fooling around, we didn't know what we were doing, and then like all of a sudden it happened, and yeah, it was like not as memorable as I wanted it to be, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine that with more people present.
You're right.
Like,
I don't want, or like your friend. Like it was always with
Yeah.
a close friend.
Yeah, it wasn't
and
like
me
you're at a
and a
bar.
girl. It's wild.
So it
Like,
was always going to be a
the
two.
old
It
devil's
was going to be a
threesome or
two
whatever
dudes
it's called.
threesome.
Yeah.
I was never 2 girls. It was
Oh,
always
okay,
2
okay.
dudes. It was just me,
Yeah,
a
that
dude,
does.
and then a girl.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. That doesn't sweeten the deal.
And I kind of wanted it to be a one-on-one thing,
That's fair. Totally fair.
and it just,
Mhm.
I don't know. So I didn't do it, but I did 3 times in my life. Oh yeah, that's funny. 3 times I almost lost my
It's a
virginity
magic number, baby.
in a threesome.
Like you and your
with a
you
friend.
and your buddy were
Yeah.
like both doing well with some girl who was like
who
seemed
is
like she was.
definitely like trying to get that going.
Playing the field. Maybe she's just like, it's like, you know what? Sometimes people put money in 2 slot machines at the same time.
Yeah.
And like you get jackpot on one.
I know
Like,
I think that's what they were going for, but I don't know. Like it's funny because I probably would have figured out the gay thing earlier than what happened.
You're right. There
maybe
you go.
you know what I
You
should have
shot
done.
yourself in the foot.
She's just like, huh. So it's a
Like,
threesome, right, guys?
Seems
It's
like,
like-
he's enjoying that part
Yeah,
a little
Why
too
are you
much.
rubbing his back? It's kind of weird.
Just like, yeah, this guy's.
She's like, I'm gonna go.
And you're like interviewing. It's like, so how's that feel? Tell me how that feels. What's it like? I'm very interested. Anyway, we're doing like off-topic squared right now because
Yeah, we're off the topic
am-
of the topic that we were supposed to be off the topic of.
I
I don't
know.
even know what I just said.
I'm glad that for
Drinking
the
Busch
listeners,
Light right now, dude.
listeners that are out there
Yeah.
saying like, how the hell do I be a good audience member at a comedy show? We should probably address some of that
Okay.
stuff. And I'll say like we'll run a little long on this because that was worth it.
Yeah, that was a nice anecdote.
I want to say real quick, this is also kind of I am very excited to do this because I don't think he listens to the show. If he does, fuck him. He's a bad comedian or bad comedy show attendee. I went to a show last night. I missed guest spot at the Funhouse Lounge.
Well,
on
and
10
it was
p.m.
a
on
banger,
Thursday.
dude.
Heard it was great. It's been getting better every week.
Yeah.
I went and saw Niles Abston and a bunch of other really funny comedians at Hawthorne Theater, like mini stage. And short version is that I had 2 extra tickets because I thought that you guys would want to go.
Yeah.
This was before you booked your own show.
Mm-hmm.
So I just threw some shit up on Twitter, said I had tickets. Random hits me up, and I'm like, yeah, man, pull up. It's great. And I'll just cut to the chase and say that, like, he ruined the show for me. He, like, at the end of the night, he was like, yeah, dude, we should, like, hang out sometime. And I was like, yeah, man, call me whenever, whatever. Just dragging Jules out of the venue. I was like, we got to get the fuck out of here right now.
Yeah.
So this is really important to me because, like, I am not a comedian. You guys are comedians.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, I would love to hear it from the comedian's perspective of, like, I've asked you guys a couple questions like this before where it's like, oh, what's this like? Or how's this? And I think this is just a good opportunity because I think a lot of these people think that they're helping. I think that they...
It's never like, no, it's like nobody, everyone, they're all like the guy from You, where they think that they're helping by killing the girlfriend's friends.
Yeah,
know?
you're
Like,
right. In a
it's
much
like a good
much
intent.
lower stakes version of
Yeah.
the guy from You.
It's like
These
if-
people aren't violent psychopaths
No,
that are stalking women and murdering people. They're just ruining the fun for a group of people briefly.
I haven't seen You, so the analogy that I'll make, it's like if you knew that your friend was a janitor, so you went and took a shit on the floor, and you're
Yeah,
just like, hey, dude,
yeah.
you're a janitor. Like, it's your job. You got to
Like,
clean this shit up.
yeah,
I'm
like,
helping out.
I'm
Yeah,
helping
I'm
it.
giving you practice.
Yeah.
But
right.
Well, so what are some of the things that we should be exhibiting at? And when I say we, I'm speaking for all the audience members.
Yeah,
out there.
people who are watching comedy shows.
Yeah.
So I mean, the hardest part is most of the time. It's very. I've only experienced it maybe a couple of times where the person that the heckler is actually has ill intent. Most of the time, they're just
Right.
like, "You're hot!" Like they just are like yelling
yep.
something. They're just
Bingo.
like, "You're real funny," and you're like, "Hey, man, you're throwing off my timing." Like, it is a little bit like your instrument playing a bad note.
Yeah.
Like the string just broke or something.
Yeah.
And so then you've got to play with one less string all of your songs and just like ignore the fact that you're missing the D string or whatever. I don't know. I don't play guitar. So.
Sure.
Is that a string? I don't
I
know.
think so. I don't know. It's one of the notes that's in the scale, so I assume it could be a string.
Well, so with that example,
Yeah.
Because we talked about this a little bit before, what would be a good way for an audience member to express that they think that you're hot?
Just laugh.
Laugh? That's a
Laugh.
good one.
Yeah, laugh,
Smile.
clap, hit
What
on you
what
after
about, like,
the
the
show.
classic, like, woo!
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
woo.
I'm good with a woo.
I'm good with a woo.
Anything that's like a sound but not a word is
That's
fine with
what
me.
I was going to get
I
to.
like that.
Maybe an onomatopoeia. Isn't that a thing? Like if you go bang pow. If you do some fun like rap ad libs, I'm down with that.
I've had
I think
someone
you're opening up
whistle
Pandora's
at me.
box.
No, I'd like a bunch of people to go skirt when I make a joke about a car, like I'm the Migos. Yeah, that would be tremendous.
I think
Do
like,
that.
So, with the exception of if you go to Nick's shows, you can do rap ad libs apparently. But would a good just general rule be like no words? You can
Yeah.
make noises.
Yeah.
You can clap. You can laugh. But like if you're saying words, something has gone wrong.
Right.
Unless they ask.
Unless they, it's like a consent thing. Like I at my open mic, I always would open it up and just be like, "Hey, this is a consent show. If you have something to say, raise your hand." This always kind of backfires though, because I don't want people to feel. Because the hard part is then people hear this and they go, "Oh, I gotta be quiet."
Yeah, I
which
feel
means
like
no
that does
sound
put kind of a
whatsoever.
weird. I feel like the wording of that, it's funny to me, but it also, I feel like it sort of makes people like, oh man, if I make too much noise, I'm like a show rapist.
I'm a show rapist.
And that's a tough look.
It
is.
So like I feel I don't know.
Nobody
'Cause-
wants to be a show rapist.
Yeah,
or really any type of.
Or
no,
any-
I mean I think
There's
there's
some
some
sickos,
people
yeah.
that do, but those people we don't need those people.
Right.
They're
they
bad
don't need
folks.
to go to comedy shows.
Well,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
When it comes to asking for audience engagement, Nick, you were talking about a type of asking that like you don't want
There's kind of like comics a lot of times will ask sort of rhetorical questions in their jokes.
for the maybe not so scholastic listeners. What is a rhetorical joke? Give me an example.
Okay.
It's like, do you ever?
We've all done
Yeah,
this,
like-
haven't we?
Yeah, I did it last night.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Anyway,
exactly.
but you maybe shouldn't yell "shut the fuck up" as fun as it would be if you're the comedian. Anyway, like there are a lot of audience members that'll answer rhetorical questions, which isn't like a real question. Like most of the time, if I'm asking the audience a question, I'll be like, you guys, whatever, question, and then if they don't answer right away, I'll be like, no, seriously, any of you, this, like. It'll be explicit that they want you to yell
How
out.
about this? Rhetorical with like a yes or no answer as opposed to like,
Right.
yeah, we've all got like that crazy uncle. And someone's like, yeah, Uncle Brian, he.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
Not
we've
a
all got
story.
that crazy
It's kinda-
uncle.
It's kind of like when you ask someone how their day is going, or like how you
I
doing.
hate
Yeah.
You want a yes or no. You're like, good. That's actually what you want. You
Yep.
want it.
Yeah.
I don't actually want to hear.
I
where
say,
you're like,
how's it
they're like,
going?
oh man, I'm so glad you asked.
Uh-huh.
Well, this morning my coffee was. You're just like,
Yeah.
oh god, here we go. You don't want a full
So
long
bad. That's how it's going. Okay, cool.
bad. Yeah. I'm just gonna stop
Yeah,
you right there.
if you've got a long story, then it's bad.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
The one thing,
But-
well, before we move on to the next one, I was going to say I wrote this one down, and it's just like the Freebird effect, right?
Yeah.
So like, yo, they don't take requests.
No.
Like they don't need you to like remind them what's next in the set.
No,
Like,
and it throws it off, or like guessing punchlines as a nut. That's like one of the
Yep.
worst heckling. It's like I guess people's punchlines all the time. I don't yell them at the comedian and ruin it
like
for
they
everybody.
think they're playing joke bingo.
yeah,
Yeah.
joke
Like-
bingo.
Well, and I think
And
this
it
feeds
sucks
into
when somebody guesses your punchline. It
Yeah.
does suck when somebody yells it before and then gets the laugh, and then they get the laugh that was fucking yours. No, I'm kidding. It is kind of the feeling that you have though, where you're just
Yeah.
like, hey man, I'm the one orchestrating this.
Yeah.
And
Well,
because
so
the
that-
worst is when somebody gets a huge laugh off of something that they yell,
yeah.
and sometimes it is the punchline you're about to say. Like, and that's the other thing. When I've had that, I've seen it happen, not to myself, to somebody else. Somebody got heckled where somebody yelled something before they said their punchline, and it was better. And the comic was just
Oh,
like,
no.
fuck you, I'm stealing that. And I was just like, and then everyone was just like, yes.
That's good. That's
And they did. The next time I saw them, they did that punchline.
told the
and I
heckler's
was like,
punchline?
yep. But that person probably felt like, oh, I better do that all the time.
well. So that actually gets into another point that we were going to talk about,
yeah.
which is, and this is something I asked the two of you about, and it's like a little deeper, but I was like, yeah, how does it feel like when people, now I will say my partner Jules does this, and this is why I wanted to ask. I wanted to see if this is like a third rail, but she has a tendency after a show, I think she has like this guilt that she needs to go tell people that she really liked their set. And then when I brought this up to you, Bjorn, you're like, yeah, 50-50, because like half the time people want to like try to punch up my jokes or like try to tell me how to like do something better.
Yeah.
As a comedian, I'm kind of leading you on this question, but like, what's your guys' experience with that? Where someone's just like, oh, bro, like, hey, I used to do a little comedy back in the day, and
Yeah.
let me tell
it's
you.
the,
how to-"
like, I used to skate, and you're just like, cool, dude, whatever.
Yeah.
I just say, hey, I really enjoyed your set. Great set. That's it. That's it. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say anything else. I don't want to hear any of your ideas. I don't want to hear any of your opinions of my jokes. I'm sorry. I just don't. And I mean, even if you're offended by something that I said, I kind of don't want to hear about it. I feel like
that goes for double. Like, if you're offended, it's like, don't come up to me and try to debate
Definitely
me, bro.
don't.
Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had, don't try to punch up my jokes. I mean, even that, like basically, like, comics have like, Nick and I have a relationship where, like,
Yeah,
we
if it's
can
another
help each
comic
other.
that wants to give me a tag, I'll listen. I might not use it. It depends on who it is and what the tag is.
Right, yeah.
Depends more on what the tag is, but that usually who it is has a big effect on that.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, like I'm happy to listen to another comic who's like, oh, okay, so you did this. I think it could work if you did that.
Uh-huh.
I'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah, and I'll think about that, and I'll be like, does that work for what I'm going to do? Okay, maybe. Cool.
Or is it
Like,
from,
Bjorn, you've given me good and like one that you gave me, you were just like, okay, like this audience member yelled some shit out.
Yeah.
You responded to it. It was funny. Try to incorporate that in your joke. I did, and it became like the best punchline in that joke.
Right.
Like,
right.
and then you also said add this detail
Yeah.
in a funny way earlier, and so I did that too.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
yeah, so I got like 2 good punchlines out of that. And you didn't even give me actual punchlines. You just said
Yeah.
something along these lines.
And
Write something. I did, and it
the
worked.
reason that I gave it to you that way is because I wanted to authentically come from you and
Yeah.
your voice. Because most of the time, if somebody gives me a tag, it's not from my voice.
Yeah, if
So
you
I've
give
got to
them-
come up with an idea of how I would say that. Because otherwise, I
Yeah.
can't remember it. If it's not a way I talk normally, then it just is weird.
And those people have known you for about 15 minutes at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, they
you know?
think they know me, but like you know me, and you could probably give me tags, and like most of our close friends. Can
Yeah,
do
most
that.
of the tags that I give you are going to be in my voice because I like riffing on other people's jokes. But then I would be
Right.
like, hey, I maybe take it in this direction, but do it as you.
Yeah, I mean, you tend to like because a lot of times I think there's like a couple of different voices, and like the way you tend to take like a high status approach, and I tend to take a like shit on myself approach to things.
Yeah, I don't like to
I like to
self-deprecate.
self-deprecate more than you do.
Yeah.
You kind of like to sarcastically be confident.
Yeah.
And I like to not do that. I don't know.
Fair enough.
And so it's not always the same perspective, but yeah, a lot of times it is good to get the audience perspective, but it also most of the time just don't.
Yeah, I'd kind of rather like audience members. I've never really had an audience member try to give me a tag. I've had them be like, "Hey, you were great," or "You were my favorite on that show," or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, thank you, I appreciate that."
I'm also just bad at taking
nice of you to
compliments.
say. I've gotten a little better, and I'm just like, "Hey, thanks, I appreciate it," and then like that's the whole thing.
The tough thing is with a lot of the shows, even like our show, there's so many comics on. The audience is like.
They're not going to.
I'm going to make a weird analogy.
I'm
going to make a weird analogy. It's like they're getting a train run on them.
Right, yeah.
And they kind of think that they can interact the same with every single person, and it's like, no, you're with a different person now.
Yeah.
And then side note, I've noticed that the yelling out tends to happen more to female comedians than male comedians.
Are you telling me that we have a patriarchal society that doesn't value women as much as we do
I've
men?
I've personally noticed that it happens more because even like you were telling us about when that was happening, and I was like,
yeah.
oh, that dude was talking super loud during one of the female comedians'
last
sets.
night. Uh-huh.
And that kind of shit it's more common, and it sucks that it's just like the truth. And it's a lot of like these dudes that like, you know, they're just like, oh, you know, like they don't want to see a woman in power. And I know, and they're in a position of power. They have a mic, they're on a stage, they're lit, you're in the dark, and it's a lot of dudes that don't want to be submissive.
I feel like I've seen more dudes get heckled, but I've seen more women get kind of disrespected. Like you guys are saying,
100%, yeah.
like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
he was saying, where somebody just is like, it's a girl on stage, and they just like start talking to their friend.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I've
not giving
definitely seen that more. So yeah,
so just
don't disrespect the comics. Don't,
regardless of who
whether
they
they're
are.
men or women or whoever they
one
are.
that I think is going to be all gender. And we kind of touched on it already, and I think I, again, know the answer, but maybe this is more for the audience than anybody else. Do you want to hear about people that have done comedy? Like I used to skate?
No.
Because this was a thing that, like, I was talking to this dude last night, and I'm not a comedian. So, like, I'm glad he got it out of the way with me, and maybe he said it to one of the other comedians. But I was like, yeah, you know, I got a lot of friends that are comedians and, like, go to shows as much as I can. It's really fun. And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm pretty good at public speaking. And I was like, oh, here we go. And he's like, and, you know, like, yeah, I was thinking about, like, hitting one of the open mics. And I was like, oh, yeah? And at this point, I was engaged. I was like, what mic are you trying to go to? And he's like, oh, dude, they do, like, mics at Helium? And I was like, bro, you're not getting on at Helium.
No, he
will.
will.
He will.
Really?
If
One
it's your,
time.
if it's your first
Oh.
time, you write first time, and
they'll put you
Because
on.
when
on.
I was like, hey man, like the one at Helium, like, you know, I was like, have you been to Helium before? And he's like, oh yeah, I've been there a bunch. And I was like, all right, I was like, you might get bumped, man. Like, if you're
Yeah.
just like a brand new comedian, I was like, what you might be better off doing is going to one of these mics at like a bar
or a
that's not a
coffee
comedy
shop,
club.
or just, yeah.
Actually, at a bar is where he's more likely to be bumped because if he
This is
gets
true.
on Helium, he will have a spot on the lineup and he will go up at that spot.
Yep.
And he'll get 3 minutes flat, and
that
he'll
they give you
probably
3?
go over the 3 because he won't know how to use the light
Yep.
in the back.
That the light
And then
goes-
he'll get on the list of people who don't get back on the mic.
But
Ever.
it was just one of those experiences where I was like, bro, this shit ain't easy. Like,
No. Well, it is this thing of like people.
Oh,
like,
you should have just given him nothing but encouragement. to
That's what
please
I do.
Go to Helium.
I was gonna say that's what I do. I'm just like people. They're like, oh yeah, I want to try it, and I go do it. Here's what is the latest? It's now
laughspdx.com.
Oh, yeah.
That's the list of
No,
all
what
the
I
where
open
the
mics.
mics are.
Go.
Here's what I did. I
Sign up.
diverted. I like deflected, and I was like, yeah, you know, if you have experience with public speaking, that'd be really good because I've seen a lot of comedians who like don't know how to talk into a mic or they don't know how to have stage presence. So like you would actually have a leg up. But then I was like, bro, you not gonna say a fucking thing that's gonna make me laugh.
No.
Like, get out of here with this shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he probably tell some story, giggle a lot about
he's
his
gonna
bros,
tell the
his
jokes
friends.
that work with his friends at the
Right.
bar.
He'll tell the story that I just told, but in a not funny way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a funny thing happened on the way to the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Well, the last thing that really I think kind of like was the main motivation for a lot of the things we're talking about, at least from my experience last night, and I think this is true for a lot of people that maybe are chiming in when they shouldn't. Just handling your shit at a comedy show.
Maybe not drink all the drinks.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say this too. We were talking like there's the obvious
But
ones,
also,
right?
if unless
I
you're
have
sober,
a few.
drink if you like drinking
Yeah.
because it makes you laugh more
I think
and
like
laugh at comics.
and this
please.
is handling your shit, right? Like
Yeah.
knowing your limits. And the thing that I said
Yeah.
before was like, if you know that after a couple drinks, you have a tendency to start yelling things at the comedians, be a fucking adult and like have 2 drinks and then switch to a Coca-Cola Classic.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, honestly, as a comedian, I will pull myself out of a comedy club. I do it all the time where I'm like, uh-oh,
you're like, Bjorn's
I got
getting a little litty too
Bjorn's gotta get out of here because I have too much to say right now.
Yeah.
And I have I actually have a really hard time going to comedy shows because I want to be on stage and
we've
I
talked about
want to
this
be
before, yeah.
talking. And I start making jokes. I start punching people's shit up. Or I start making look like jokes to my friends quietly at the table, and it is very inappropriate. I should not do that, and I'm aware of that. I know that I'm the problem, and so I take myself out of those situations. Like, so often. It's why I never go to Helium to the real shows. It's because, like, I can't sit there for an hour and not be someone that goes on stage. I can't. It's so hard for me.
Huh.
I have so much to say. I'm going to go and, like, find somebody and start riffing in the hallway. Like, I can't do it. It's,
Oh, I mean, yeah, I definitely like going to
I mean,
shows
it's like-
with people and then afterward, like, go to the bar.
It's like
or
watching
hang
people
out and-
ride-
That's the way to do it.
Joke
it's like
around.
watching a bunch of people ride powder. Fuck off with that. I can't watch those videos.
You
of
can't
people-
watch TGR movies?
Nope. Fuck that. I'd
Oh, I
way
love
rather
those
do
movies.
it than watch it.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't.
but those
I want to be
movies
the
come out
guy
in the fucking fall when
dropping out
there's
of the
not-
helicopter.
Yeah, but there's not snow in October.
I'm
Go to
just
the movie in
I'm a
October to get
I'm a
amped up for
participator,
January,
dude. I'm
dude.
not a voyeur.
right.
Bjorn
I'm a
would love
participator.
improv.
What?
You should get an improv.
I've
He's
done
done
a lot of
improv.
improv.
No, I'm fucking
Yeah.
with you. Anything? Well, I was gonna say one last thing on handling your shit.
Yeah.
I think I am gonna also categorize some other things than just like substances. So like, yo, if you get really excited,
Yeah.
stone cold sober, be an adult. Like, just
Work
Yeah.
on
okay.
it. Work on yourself.
Yeah, just like don't get giddy. If you know that
Yeah.
that's the case, if you go to the front of the show, maybe hang out in the back for a little bit. Like, I think maybe
Yeah.
that's another thing too. It's like, in your experiences, are these people in the front of the room or in
It's
the back of the room?
it's funny because I was literally talking to Leanne about this last night about how the people that want to sit in the front row, you don't want them in the front row. You want the people to sit in the front row that are just like they'll maybe participate if you really try to talk to them, but mostly you just want them smiling and laughing at whatever shit that you said to them, and
I
then
also
maybe
feel
one word
like-
responses, but like a little nervous. Portland's has really good audience members though for a city. Because
I rarely
I've
get
never-
actual. I haven't seen any actual hecklers here. Well, I have, but it's rare.
It's so rare.
I definitely saw a girl heckle an open mic before I even did comedy.
Oh, really?
I believe it was her birthday, and she was wasted.
Just stop there. You don't
She
even
was
have
like
to.
29,
It was
I
her
think.
day, and she. Well, that's the other thing.
She
is,
was
like, don't go to a
completely
comedy show if it's your
wasted.
birthday
It was
or a
her
bachelorette
birthday.
party.
It was an
any of
open
that.
mic, and she just talked to every comic on stage, and it was like, oh my god.
If you heckle an open mic, is that the way you wind down after going to the Little League games and shit talking children? Like it's amateur. It's literally
amateur hour.
Like,
No,
you're-
what it is people who want to be the center of attention, and they end up at an event where a bunch of people just all got on a list to be
Yep.
the center of attention for 3 minutes at a time, and people, and she was hammered.
Yeah.
It was her birthday, and she was hammered, and honestly, she was.
Bjorn, I went to your
Hot.
show when I was on my birthday. I got stoned. I ate a little bit of ice cream.
Yeah.
I felt very self-conscious about how loud I was laughing. And then the show was really fun.
I remember that.
I don't know.
That's-
This might
yeah.
be offensive, but she was like a hot girl.
Uh-huh.
And it was her birthday. Like, she was
Becky
used
was
to
out to
attention.
party.
She was
Yes.
used to attention, and then other people were getting
She
it.
was not only used to attention, but used to not having people tell her to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, nobody'd ever
Because they were
told
trying
her
to play
no.
Mario
or-
Party with her and their best friend later
Right,
on that night. Yeah.
right, yeah. So, yeah, it was just, that was kind of the scenario there. Like, that's the only real heckling I've seen in Portland.
It's
that kind of
usually
shit.
it's usually just like too supportive, and you're like being too verbally supportive,
Right.
where it's like
Or,
you're not
yeah,
just
like-
you're not saying like
Well,
woo.
like, you literally have a joke. You want to burn your joke or not?
Which one?
Your supportive heckle joke.
Oh yeah. I have a joke about. No, it's not supportive.
Right, but that's what you call your joke, right?
Yeah. Well, no. It's I don't want to burn it.
Okay.
I'm
You've
not
got
gonna
a
burn that
joke
Gonna have
where
to come to
somebody
Funhouse
like
at
You're
10
gonna have to
o'clock.
come
Yeah.
watch us actually do.
you
I don't
come
want
to
to burn
guest
that
spot,
joke.
Bjorn can tell you his good joke.
Dude, that's crazy. I totally forgot about that joke. That joke I forget about all the time,
okay.
and then I'll like look at old set lists and be like, oh,
So
yeah,
you
got
obviously
that joke.
value it a lot, and that's why
I
you
do.
don't
It's
wanna
a
burn
solid
it.
joke. No, it's a joke that it's like
It is a
it's
good
done.
Yeah, it's a good like
done.
30
so I'm
seconds.
never working
boom,
on it.
boom, boom, laughs and move
So
on.
anyway,
That's fair.
but yeah, no, I did get heckled. Really,
Mm-hmm.
I've been heckled a couple of times. I got heckled at an open mic by a homeless dude, and I had the funnest time with it because I know what to do with it because I'm used to. I just interact with them.
Yeah, because
And
you did
that
stand
is
up in Vegas where like there was a
That's
lot of that
all-
nonsense,
yeah,
right?
Where you that's just what happened
Yeah.
all the time, and you're just like, cool. I guess we're just
Yeah.
it's just talk to this crazy guy night.
Right, and that's something that I did kind of think about. Well, like for our level of comedy, yeah, like it's bad that people heckle, but if you are like as a comic, if you're on a show, someone talks to the crowd, it might just be time to learn how to talk to the crowd too. Because if you're a professional comedian, you're gonna have to. Because
You got to kind of open Pandora's box, a crack
Yeah.
every once in a while.
You gotta-
well, and I want to
like-
be good at that. Like
Yeah.
if people yell shit out at me personally, I'm usually kind of like, okay, fun. I get to try this. I get to do crowd work now, and not be in. It's not my fault. Now
Right.
it was thrust upon me. I
Yeah.
have to do crowd work.
It's
What?
like,
Oh
you-
no.
Yeah, you open. You open this box.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't mind it personally, but that's just me.
I don't mind it at all. I think it's fun. But because the part that's confusing to people, I think, is that a good stand up feels like a conversation, but really the conversation is I say shit, you laugh, and then I keep talking. It's not really like a call and response or where you're just like you're not saying like yeah, I agree. No, you're laughing with
Yeah.
your laughter is you're agreeing with the thing. It's not that. I have seen. I remember when I first moved here and I saw someone. No, it was that day that I got heckled really bad, like real bad. The guy said one of my punchlines, and then I just had a really good time talking to them. And they were. It was a homeless guy at Ming.
Oh,
Lounge,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great part of town.
Fucking back room of a Chinese restaurant
Yeah.
in Old Town Portland.
Yep,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
with like
Portland.
carpet that's probably never been vacuumed. It's never seen a vacuum.
Oh no, yeah, that
There's Christmas lights,
yeah,
the
there's
multicolors all the time.
Yeah.
Festive place.
Yeah, very festive. Actually, really fun open mic. Had low ceilings. It was really intimate, and when there wasn't homeless people yelling at you, and if you needed to use the bathroom, you better go someplace else because that place was just like You had to ask the bartender for a key.
Mm.
And then it was just
Did that not help with the situation?
nope, and it didn't help at all. It was like anyway. I just remember a lot of other comics. Comics in Portland don't. A lot of them, like a broad statement. A lot of them don't know how to deal with hecklers because the audiences are so nice.
Yeah.
So, but let's end this on a good note, because we've talked a lot about things that like we want to avoid. So you said that Portland's a really great audience, and I am going to push back on that a little bit, because I think that Portland is such a good audience, such a polite audience, such a respectful audience, that there's jokes that I've heard over the course of the last couple of months. And I'm like, yo, in other cities, you're getting 4 laughs before you get to the end of the joke. And in Portland, people will say something that's funny, and it is crickets in the audience, because people are just like, and then?
Oh yeah. Well, it's sort of the effect of like this is a broad stroke example of like, in Vegas, I could just go up there and just be like, hey, so I'm gay. And everyone's like, no way.
Right.
Woo! That's hilarious. And just carry me off on their shoulders like, never seen a gay man with a beard before. You crazy. You look like my uncle. This is wild. Vegas, baby. And then here, you're like, so I'm gay. And they're like, yeah. So am I.
Yeah.
Like,
are you just gay?
I think the difference
Like, what
is,
else are you?
What else are you?
There's times where comedians, outside of like an identity thing, there's times where like comedians say something, and I know for a fact that is a funny thing that they put in their set or their bit, and they maybe don't expect to get a. You can tell it with out of town guys and folks. They come in and they will be doing their thing, and they will have like a tiny pause for laughter, and it is silent.
Yeah.
And they're like, so anyway,
what I attribute is that what I like about that is it makes like the comics in Portland are really strong. They're Portland. They're like, no, you need to be a little bit more clever. You need to be a little bit more inclusive, a little bit more, and that's why the comics here are so strong on our lineups, is because. You really like it was a huge wake up call for me when I came here. I was just like, God, I'm only getting like only my big punchlines are landing, none of my small punchlines leading up to that. And I took a comedy class, and that's how I met. I was just like, do I even know how to do this anymore?
What the fuck is going on?
So I took a comedy class 7 years into comedy because I kind of thought I didn't know how to do it anymore. And it was like, no, they just. And I think it's a good thing, and I think you should be able to play to any of those audiences, even if you are thrown.
I think it definitely helps you as a writer and as a comic.
They want clever, they want well-written, well-crafted stuff.
Well, I think
as opposed to like the easy laughs don't
they
happen.
think that it's funny. And I'll say this from personal experience, because I'm sitting in these rooms. I think that something's funny, but I'm expressing that through smiling at the comedian, which right now with masks on doesn't work.
Right.
And but I'm not going to give like a big laugh. I guess the reason why I highlight it is like I've gone to so many shows in Portland, and like it's really awkward. Like I used to go to the Nest a lot on Alberta, and I would see like little metal bands, and the band would finish their song, and like nobody would do anything, and it was just like this awkward silence. And I remember when I first moved here full time, I went up to one of the bands. It was like Hornets Leg, I think, and I was like, "Yo, is this normal? Is this what happens?" And they were just like, "Yeah, man, Portland, like." Nobody fucking cheers. Nobody claps. Like, they don't really make any noise. Like, we just go through our set list, and like, and then people come up after the show, and they're like, dude, that was so fucking sick. Like, it was awesome, blah, 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 blah.
I've bombed and had people do that. I'm just like, were you laughing? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Should we just put laugh tracks in
at
all the comedy clubs in Portland?
The last thing I'm going to say.
No, we shouldn't, because that'll encourage just the worst of people.
Don't. No, but I think Portland gives good information.
Yeah.
That's what I like about, like, even just, like, the open mics and stuff. Right now, what's tough with the mask thing is you don't get that rolling laughter that you did before. It's really hard to kind of get on this, like, rhythm, and I don't know why. It seems like it's just like, ha, 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 ha.
Dude, I found myself last night doing, like, the shoulder laugh, like this shit. Audience can't see this, but, like, when you're just shoulders, like bouncing up and down.
When you just kind of vibrate.
I legitimately got to a point where I was like, oh, I'm doing this to signal to the comedian that I'm laughing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not laughing super loud, and even if I was, there's a Benny the Butcher show happening in the next room over, so they can't hear it. But I was like, this is me expressing that, like, I like this. It's really good.
Yeah.
And I started doing that, like, subconsciously because I was just like, well, fuck. I don't want them up there thinking, like, everyone hates them.
Yeah.
But
all right, I'm going to wrap it up. So basically we had no Freebird, don't answer rhetoricals, and handle your shit.
Yeah, handle your shit.
And
for the most part, don't talk unless just speak when spoken to.
yeah.
Kind of.
Shut up, but don't be quiet.
Yeah.
It was like, don't be quiet, but shut
yeah,
the
don't be
fuck
quiet,
up.
but don't like talk and
Yeah.
say words.
Yeah,
Just like laugh, clap,
Yeah.
onomatopoeias.
Non-verbal communication
Yeah.
for the audience. Only verbal communication
Yeah.
for the performers.
Yeah, kind of like if you've ever been around like a baby, like emulate the way a baby responds to things. They just kind of go,
I love
ah!
that. I
Oh, I
love
thought you meant
that.
the way that people talk to babies.
No, the way
No, the
babies talk
babies-
to people.
The way that
Gotcha.
babies. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I was around a baby a couple weeks ago, and it was kind of funny.
It was like
it
the
just
best audience ever. You're just
Yeah.
well, not really. It didn't understand my clever jokes, but like,
funny. Some of the
yeah.
audience members in Portland don't either.
Yeah, you're right. They don't. But no, like all it did is it would just go ah, and that I thought that would
That'd be fun if that's
that'd
how
be
people.
yeah. If
Yeah.
somebody wanted to yell
So
at
come
me
to Funhouse Thursday nights
at
at 10 o'clock.
Funhouse at 10
And
o'clock,
react like a baby.
please just yell at me.
If someone says something funny, just like kind of crook your arm, point at them, and make guttural baby noise.
Yeah, I think that's the best advice we could have given
Yeah.
on this
On this hour-long extra
episode.
Hey, we're-
Terry, you want to take us out?
Yeah, we're figuring it out over here. This is the off-topic segment for Size 10 podcast. You can find our full episodes and more of these by subscribing to us on YouTube, Apple, and or Spotify. You can follow us on social media, Instagram and Twitter. Bjorn, do you have something you'd like to say?
I just love that you said full episodes, and we are like closing in on very close to a full-length episode.
Yeah, but this is like...
Yeah, it's 10 minutes less. It's fine. I love it.
Follow us on social on Instagram and Twitter at Size 10 Podcast. We have the full episodes dropping on Wednesday. Nick made it official at the top. We're dropping these off topics on Fridays for the time being. And yeah, come out to guest spot at the Funhouse Lounge in Portland, Oregon, 10 p.m. every Thursday. Are y'all going to do Thanksgiving?
No.
No.
No Thanksgiving.
No Thanksgiving. So go
Enjoy your
Family.
turkey
Yeah.
and your family.
enjoy
and whatever.
something.
Do
That's
something.
my request.
Do
Just enjoy
something.
something.
I'm going to be at your house.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you got a paid day off probably.
Yeah.
Bro, if you're not doing anything for Thanksgiving, come
I'm
through.
gonna be in Montana.
All right.
Enjoy Montana.
I'll shoot you a text.
We'll see you next time, folks. Take it easy.
All right. Bye.